So what I am demonstrating for you here is the fact that you can take the same alignment and still hit it in a lot of different directions. I'm Daniel Lee. I'm your host today on the Gravity Golf channel. We're going to be talking about alignment. And this is different from what you may have heard of before as get everything lined up, get your feet going in the right direction, get your shoulders pointed right. What we're going to be talking about is dynamic alignment. And this is much different. This has to do with where your center of mass is relative to the ball. And this is how alignment really works, and this is why it's confusing when you feel like everything is set up in the right spot, but everything is going in different directions. And that's because if your mass is in a different spot, the relationship to the ball has changed. Now in school, in basic geometry, one of the first tools that they teach you to use is what they call a geometric compass. And this is how you draw a perfect circle. So it's got a center point, it's got a pencil on the outside, and as you turn it, it just draws an arc. Our swing works the same way. We are swinging in a circle around the center of our body. Now what happens is as the center of our body shifts, so does our relationship to the ball. And what you'll see when using that geometric compass, from that center point of the circle to the edge of the circle, is it creates a tangent release, which is actually a 90-degree angle. So what you see is from the center point of your circle, right here, as you're coming around, that ball will actually be spit off at a 90-degree angle. Now what happens is, if our center of mass is in a different point, for instance, if my weight is on my back foot, what you're going to see is that that angle has now changed. So this is how I can take the same stance, and if I come into this shot and my weight is back on my back foot, that tangent release has just gone straight to the left. Same thing. If I come in and my weight goes too far past impact, my alignment is going to be off to the right. So this is how you can actually know where your center of mass was at the point of impact. And this is what we're always working on in gravity golf and in our drills, is creating enough space so that we can actually move through our shots. And a big part of that is being able to feel that we have enough room to actually move forwards into our front side and clear and have an alignment that has not crossed our intended flight path. Now I know this may seem a little bit confusing at first, but if you break this down to its simplest form, you know that if your start line is going left, that your center of mass was back. And now if you're starting off and it's going to the right, that's the first place it starts, you know that your center of mass was too far past. So as you go out there and start playing around with your alignment, what I want you to feel is that you can put this ball far enough forwards up here. So start off as a right-handed player with a far enough left alignment that it actually gives you room to move all the way up to that front foot and be able to clear through your shot without your center of mass moving past the ball. Now, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I know this is probably something much different than you've heard before. At least that's been the case with most of my students. But it really starts to change things when you understand how dynamic alignment works. The body is very complex, but movement is very simple in its essence. The golf swing is a combination of linear and rotational movement. Essentially, we're trying to use the same principles that we do when we walk. I'm trying to allow myself to fall in the direction I want to go, utilizing gravity. And it's the same thing here. We're trying to create space so that we can allow ourselves to start falling in the direction we want to go, creating that momentum, that kinetic energy flowing in this direction, and we have to have space and room for that to be able to happen. So it'll give you a lot of feedback when you start being able to tell exactly where your center of mass was at impact by where your ball flight starts. So if it starts to the right for a right-handed player, that means that your center of mass was too far past the ball, and you probably started off with a ball position that was too far back, and vice versa. If you come into your shot and it's starting to the left, you know that your center of mass was back. So make sure to give yourself enough room so that you can move into your shot and still freely clear through it. Thank you for joining me today. It is a pleasure to be here, to be able to enjoy this space and to be able to study the swing and be a student of movement. And thank you all for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. We love having you around. Take the challenge. You will enjoy it, and it will pay great dividends. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.